Now you got to try to get Kane up and over the top rope.
Oh, off to crawling with a chair.
What's he going to do, pick him up with a chair? That ain't going to work.
How much left can these two men have in their bodies? Austin's got the steel chair.
Look at Kane, he's a monster. He's
My God,
already up.
Kane is up.
Austin,
My God, Kane is up.
Austin, you're not a monster.
I'm shocked.
Ah, he didn't even knock him off his feet. Oh.
Jesus, God almighty. No shot to the skull. Austin gonna hit Kane.
Oh.
Kane is out. Stone Cold.
Here is the winner. Stone Cold.
I knew he could do it.
Stone Cold is going to WrestleMania.
I knew the Rattlesnake could win this thing. Unbelievable.
The battered and bloody Rattlesnake has fought his way back. Has fought his way through hell itself. And go to WrestleMania. My God, they're on their feet in New Orleans.
Look at this. He's bloody. He's battered. But he's going to WrestleMania.
The toughest son of a bitch in the WWF has done it.
Look at this. That's long, not two, but three chair shots, and then this. That did it, Kane. That's running for the Rattlesnake.
My God, what a night. What a night. And look at Austin's reaction. Oh, my God, I've done it. A year ago, he had spinal surgery. He's fought his way back.
All the way to WrestleMania. That's where Stone Cold Steve Austin is going.
What a WrestleMania. The Rock here still at ringside.
What a story they are.
What a night. What a Royal Rumble. But by God, Stone Cold Steve Austin will be in the main event at WrestleMania.
Oh, hell yeah. He opened the biggest can of whoop-ass ever, and it took him right to WrestleMania.
It has been Royal Rumble 316. Stone Cold is going to WrestleMania.
Hello, and welcome to AoX Episode 2. After many glitches and delays, and starting the show over for a third time here, I'm your host, Perry.
Host Eli.
We're back. This is Episode 2. We did Episode 1, a pilot episode, if you will, about a month ago. And we're back here on the original channel. So this is AoX Wrestling, Episode number 2. We are here to review the 20th anniversary of the 2001 Royal Rumble. So, this show was awesome. I watched it tonight to celebrate the 20th anniversary. You had, on the card, the WWF Tag Team Championship match here. Edge and Christian were the champions versus the Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys win their second WWF World Tag Team title. You had the Intercontinental Championship match with the two Chris's that nobody cares about. You also had the WWF Women's Championship match. Ivory the champion versus Chyna. Did a little injury angle there for Chyna. And that gave her sympathy for the WrestleMania match. So Ivory retained the Women's Championship. You had Triple H versus Kurt Angle, who's the World Wrestling Federation champion. Stone Cold Steve Austin ran out and interfered, cost Triple H the match. Kurt Angle got the win and retained the WWF title. Then you had the WWF 30-man Royal Rumble match. Kane was in the match, the entire match for the most part. Stone Cold Steve Austin won the match, also dubbed Royal Rumble 316. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin's third and final Royal Rumble match. Third win and final Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't his final. It was his third Royal Rumble win and his final Royal Rumble win.
Yeah.
His third and final Royal Rumble win.
Yeah.
We got that right before in the show that we screwed up in, but we're back now. So now that we ran down the card, we're just going to talk about the show. Eli, how the hell you doing?
I'm doing right, man. I'm doing okay, you know. Yeah, I mean, like you were saying before, um, this was definitely probably one of the last really big, important like Royal Rumbles, you know? Like this was like one of the Rumbles that mattered, you know, going into
This is
you
one
know,
of the best, the last great Royal Rumbles.
yeah, you know. I didn't watch a lot of WWF growing up because I grew up as a WCW kid, and you know WWF had a lot more like adult stuff, so like my parents didn't let me watch it a lot. But towards the end of 2001 is kind of when I started, you know, more like around WrestleMania 17 and afterwards. So like this era of WWF, I watched really sparingly, but like the Rumble match was probably like you said, it was the greatest Royal Rumble probably ever. You know, you're gonna hear taps playing in the background for the
It's
last
taps
greatest Royal
because
Rumble.
all the Royal Rumbles since have been shit. So the
Yeah,
Royal Rumble match is dead, effectively, which is why taps is playing. Those are for all the crappy Royal Rumbles. That's for the Royal Rumble this week, or whenever it's coming on. 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
oh, is it? Yeah, it's like the end of the month.
They're all going to cough on each other. They're all going to get the virus. It's like, it's crazy. They're going to have to bury
Yeah,
those guys under the ring.
let it play out.
I told you that should be a theme song after you beat somebody.
And ironically, I did see the final Nitro a couple weeks ago,
We're going to be
when
covering
you
that.
know when Taps plays for DDP.
Yo, that was funny because Steiner was beating everybody, and then they would open Nitro playing taps with like "Rest in Peace DDP." Like, yo, that was funny. We're gonna
Yeah,
cover all that this year. 2001 was 20 years ago, so 2021 is the 20th anniversary for a lot of crazy things in pro wrestling.
yeah,
You had the last CCW show, which was last week. You had last week, Bischoff thought he was buying WCW with Fusion Media.
yeah.
And now you had the Royal Rumble. And then you would have the end of WCW in March. Then you would have the final Nitro.
Yeah.
You had the purchase of WCW on the 23rd. The final Nitro on the 26th. The greatest WrestleMania of all time, 17. The Invasion. I mean, you had all these great things. I mean, the Invasion, yeah, you know, it wasn't the greatest
It
or
fell
whatever.
flat a
But
little bit. Yeah.
if you watched WCW from like 2000 and you watched the Invasion, it was pretty decent because like you kind of knew the people going into it. But you had Survivor Series 2001. That was like the best Survivor Series ever.
Yeah,
And I think that was the last great one. Because if you think about it, they had all the main event guys in it. There hasn't been a Survivor Series since with all the main event guys.
no,
Not one that I can
not
think
that
of.
I can even remember.
Usually they put in a captain and a bunch of jobbers, you know?
Right.
That was the last best one, man. So we're going to cover all that here. You know, whenever we're able to do a show.
But back to the Rumble.
Back to the Royal Rumble, the WWF 2001 Royal Rumble. It is now 1/22/21, so we are now no longer 20 years ago. So whatever. We started this show when it was 20 years ago. Anyway, it was 20 years ago tonight. It's still got 3 hours in California, so it still is the 21st. 20 years ago tonight, you had Drew Carey in the Royal Rumble. 1 year fresh off of David Arquette being the laughing stock of WCW. It's funny how Drew Carey just gets in a rumble and nobody cares. But David Arquette's in WCW. Oh, get him out of there.
He got a pop when he came out. People were like, oh, Carey.
The people liked him. They were chanting Drew. And you said earlier on the first screw up of this show, you said he threw the Hardy Boys out.
Yeah, because they were like fighting on the turnbuckle, and like he just comes in. He's like, he just like pushes them or whatever.
No, he didn't touch them.
Both fall out.
They fell out because Kane's music hit, or somebody's music hit. I think it was Kane's. Kane's music hit, and they knew to get out.
Yeah, Kane came out.
They knew they both had. They knew they both had to get out. That was their cue to get out of the ring. So they were beating each other, and they pretended like they fell out. And Drew Carey walked over there and go, "Yeah, look what I did. Like, he didn't do anything. He didn't touch them." Jesus is in the chat room. We're live. We're in the live chat. Every single guy in Survivor Series 01 was incredible. Oh, it was credible. Also, there's something about the company line. The entire company. There was something on the line. It was the entire company. Yes. And you had it closed out with Rock and Austin, the WWF champion versus the WCW champion. Which, who would have thought that, huh? Who would think, watching the Royal Rumble 2001, you'd be like, you know what, at the end, at Survivor Series, you're going to have the WWF champion fighting the WCW champion. And little did you know,
right? Yeah.
In the Royal Rumble was the WWF champion and the WCW champion. Who would think The Rock was going to win the WCW title? Nobody.
No, man, that was crazy. The whole invasion, like 2001, man, like
that was a great summer. 2001 was a really great year. I mean, it was a great start of the year, the summer. Then, world events happened. That really put a damper on it. But if you remove the world events stuff, it was a really great year. Yeah. It was fun. It was a fun year. I had just graduated high school. I was on my own. As far as I didn't have to be anywhere. I could do what I wanted. And it was really cool. It was fun. It was my first year as being pretty much an adult.
Yeah.
So, got to do whatever the hell I wanted. It was great. But now we're here. And we're recapping this show. Not really recapping, we're just talking about it. I don't want to do I don't want to do that recap stuff. I recapped, I ran down what was going on, I ran down who won. But we want to talk about the show. The show was really fun. I really enjoyed the show.
Yeah, not a dull moment on the show at all. Like, the crowd was pumped the entire night.
And moves. People were cheering the moves. Well, I'm not saying like, yeah! I'm saying like everyone got off their feet for moves. Certain moves. The mid-card guys were over. The jobber guys were over. And you can tell when Austin came out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was it. He was the loudest in the whole building.
Oh, yeah.
So they told a story in this Royal Rumble match. They had told a story with Kane being the longest guy in the Rumble. They had every time a guy would try to throw him out, the crowd was going crazy. That's psychology. Then, of course, the guy to throw him out is Stone Cold Steve Austin at the very end of the show. And it just made Steve Austin look even more better than he was.
Yeah.
Because, nobody could throw this guy out, but Stone Cold, he did it. He's the guy. It was really cool. I loved it. I loved watching it. I could watch this Royal Rumble over and over again. I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah.
But now that I went back tonight and watched it, I thought this was fantastic again. It's just, I can't believe how different the show has changed in the last 20 years. These guys it was scripted and all that stuff, but they had a little bit of leeway. And all these guys were main event guys. It wasn't like scripted to the bone. Like, these guys had some leverage, and they looked like megastars. So, that was, for me, it was the highlight.
Yep.
And go ahead.
Yeah. Continue on your point.
No, I was just gonna talk about something else, but go ahead. I'll bring
Oh
it up
no,
later.
I was gonna say like I love how the first half of the Rumble was like a hardcore match. It was literally all the guys from the hardcore division.
The
You
bowling
got
ball
Raven,
spot where Raven's nuts.
yeah, the infamous bowling ball spot that gets replayed over and over in all the highlights.
They couldn't do that
Um,
now.
no, that was great stuff. Like,
They'd screw it up somehow if they did that.
yeah, they had like the whole hardcore division. They had like Kane, Raven, freaking Al Snow, Perry Saturn came out after
Saturn was
that.
out
Like,
there, yep.
Steve Blackman came out with the sticks.
Did you ever watch? I don't know if it was Raw or Sunday Night Heat. Did you ever
Yeah,
see when Val Venus stole Steve Blackman's bag?
I might have, but I might have. I haven't seen it
Okay,
since like
so
it happened.
Steve
So
Blackman had those sticks in the bag, and Val Venus stole
yeah,
the bag, and he fought. Blackman fought Val Venus and got the bag back, and he opened it, and there was all these fucking dildos and shit. And Steve Blackman's like, "What the hell is this?" And he throws it on the floor. And they showed that on Raw.
yeah,
It might have been Raw or Sunday Night Heat.
yeah. No, I don't remember that. I feel maybe it was Raw.
If you look that up, you'll find it. Although the big Valboski is not
At,
so
at this
Valboski
time,
anymore.
at this time, wasn't he like right to censor?
Yes, at
Or did they
this
kick
Royal
him
Rumble,
out?
he was right to censor. No, he wasn't kicked out yet. They did that after WrestleMania.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he's
You know,
not so Valboski
the Good
anymore.
Father ran out at one point during the
Yeah,
Rumble, and it's like
yeah,
he got no pop, and I'm like, wow, I was at the 2000 Royal Rumble, and this guy got a louder pop in New York City than Steve Austin would have gotten.
yeah.
Taz and the Godfather, hands down, that night got huge pops at the 2000
Well,
Royal
were
Rumble.
people really like fond of the right to censor? Because I don't remember too many people liking them.
No, they don't like him because it was a heel faction, and they made
But
the
they hated
music.
like,
They made the music so that you would hate them.
yeah,
Stevie Richards, man, that was
but
his
like,
best. That was his best work.
yeah. Like they took the gimmicks off her, like the Godfather. He became a good father, so he wasn't like a pimp anymore. He just,
The
you
Good
know,
Father.
he was just a guy in a suit.
I don't know. That was just so fun to watch. Wrestling was fun to
Yeah,
watch back then. Now forget it. But I'm not going to really
yeah,
harp on today. Let's just stick on this topic here. Jesus said the invasion could have been better. Well, we got some good matches out of it. If you watched WCW in 2000 and you watched the invasion, you were kind of satisfied, but you knew it could have been so much more.
yeah.
If
Definitely.
WCW went out like with Bischoff and NWO, like and DDP and all those guys, like on the final show, and then they didn't bring them in for the invasion, you'd be like, really, what the hell is this? This isn't an invasion. But they kind of had nobody, and that's who the WWF ended up grabbing.
Yeah, I mean, they grabbed the undercard guys, that were there. They grabbed who they could.
Jesus says Dark Side of the Ring will feature Canyon this season. Well, rest in peace to Chris Canyon, who was a big part of the year 2001. He was WWF Tag Team
Yeah.
Champions with DDP. You know what's weird about 2001? They gave Undertaker and Kane the WCW Tag Team titles, and they gave Canyon and DDP the WWF Tag Team titles. Like, what? But DDP and Canyon were WCW guys, and Undertaker and Kane were WWF. Like, why did they do that? I never got that.
I don't know.
It was like, well, you got the other guy's belts, so they got to get it back. But they weren't even like really challenging for those other belts. Austin was WCW, but he had the WWF title. Dude, if you're
Well, I
defecting
guess
the WCW,
ironically-
wouldn't you want the WCW title? I don't know.
Well, I guess ironically, in that sense, all four of those guys were in WCW and WWF at some point in their careers. So I guess This Canyon's reward for like jobbing on like superstars in the early '90s.
I got one of those 2001 WCW shirts. I gotta find it.
Yeah, I don't
With the
have
little
one.
red logo.
I have the Bret Hart jersey, the WCW one.
Where he had the plate. Goldberg speared the one good idea that they had in the whole fucking history of Nitro.
Yeah.
So 2001 Royal Rumble. What did you think about this? Let's just say the match. The show was great. All right, let's say what do you think about the entire show, and then we'll get to the Royal Rumble itself, as far as what you thought.
The entire show from top to bottom, like it was great. Like, unfortunately, the match I remember most from this Rumble, I can't talk about because obviously the person involved,
Well, the
what he
two
did,
people involved. You know what's funny
yeah,
about this?
but
On the DVD here, I have the DVD. And by the way, I
yeah.
actually years ago I made a copy of the DVD just in case something happened. But there it is. On the DVD, there's an extra. There's promos like after the matches, and the person you shall not mention was like, "Oh, Chris is lucky that I didn't beat him, and I didn't," and he like stopped, and I was like, "What? You didn't kill him?" Anyway,
Yeah,
these are the two Chris's we're not to talk about anymore. Did you see
yeah,
that
but
moonsault the other night? That like pancake moonsault this guy did? We posted it in the
oh
chat.
no, man, I didn't see it at all. Like I wasn't watching AEW that
You didn't
night.
see that
I
GIF?
caught like the highlights. No, I didn't see it.
It's in the
Is
friggin'
it in the
live chat.
chat?
Yeah. That was
Oh,
trending,
man.
by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I heard it was trending. I just didn't see like what. Wait, what did he do?
Dude, he like pancake. He did a line salt and pancaked off the rope, and he like fell backwards.
So he basically just did a back bump. He just like he tried to backflip, but he just fell back on his back.
He's too damn big. Anyway,
And that's like the first time he didn't land that move in fucking ages.
so go on with what you were saying about this wonderful show.
So yeah, that match obviously is, you know, probably is a really good match, but can't talk about it, you know.
I
So,
didn't even bother watching it.
uh, the Dudley boys, Edge and Christian, Dudley's and Edge and Christian, that whole feud that year was probably pretty good. You know, Edge and Christian were on fire. They were like, they're proof that you can do comedy but still be a serious tag team, and that's what I loved about Edge and Christian back in the day. Like, they were always fucking around with people backstage and playing kazoos and annoying people, but like when they got in the ring and they did stuff, like it was all business. And they like, you know, they showed that they were like dead serious, even though they, you know, joked around a lot.
And Edge won King of the Ring that year.
Yeah.
I was at the Raw after the King of the Ring, where they gave him it looked like the friggin' Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
That's when Mike Awesome invaded. They did the whole Booker T ran in at the end. Scissor kick McMahon. And when that episode of Raw went off the air, Big Show screamed, "WCW is dead!" And we were like, "Oh, okay." So, whatever.
Oh, well, okay. All right, Big Show.
But, well, what do you think about the actual Royal Rumble? The Royal Rumble match?
Like I said, top to bottom, great. I mean, the first half again, it was like a hardcore match. Everybody was like leaving the ring, grabbing shit, freaking beating the crap out of each other with freaking weapons and everything. Rock came out. You had freaking Kane. Kane was clearing the ring like the whole first half of the Rumble.
And when Rock came out, eventually, I think Big Show was already in the ring, or Big Show came out after that.
Mm-hmm.
They played up to the year before. Remember they did that story where Big Show really won the Royal Rumble because Rock's feet were on the floor? They had The Rock go right after Big Show. And the crowd was standing up because they knew this was the continuation of that little story. And The Rock knocked Big Show right over the top rope and it said, "Fuck you, I won last year. This is over." And Big Show just got all mad, pulled The Rock out, chokeslammed him through the table. Jim Ross called him a big, nasty son of a bitch. And I was just like, dude, he's right in front of you. Like, but yeah, they even tied up a loose end from that storyline the year prior. But the people were going. The minute that Rock and Big Show looked at each other, the people stood up and went crazy. And then when they were hitting each other, the crowd exploded.
Yeah. You see people remembered, and that
they
was
remembered
the
and they
thing.
cared. They cared about that. It was the dumbest thing to care about, but they cared about it.
Yeah.
Today they don't care about
like you
that
couldn't
stuff.
get that. Same.
WWE doesn't remember what the hell they did.
They don't remember last week. They don't remember what they did last week.
No, they don't.
That's why they keep doing the same match every Monday night.
But that's how special this era of the WWF was. And by the way, this was the last full year of the WWF.
Yeah.
This would be the last WWF Survivor Series. And I was at the first WWE Survivor Series. I was at 2002. And that was a good show.
Mm-hmm.
But this was pretty much the end of wrestling, if you think about it. ECW closed, WCW closed, WWF ran through the year, and then they ended up changing their name. So it's
what was it, like March? Something like that, May? When was Insurrection or Rebellion?
It was April or May they changed their name.
Yeah,
because it was Backlash was the last pay-per-view. And then after Backlash, I think it was Judgment Day, and I think that was the first one. So Hogan...
Yeah, because they had the European tour was like the last WWF event.
Well, listen, Hulk Hogan was the first... He was the last WWF champion and the first WWE champion. Isn't that ironic, huh?
Yeah. He was the first WWF champion, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Maybe.
When he beat the Iron Sheik. I think when Iron Sheik was the champion.
Was Iron Sheik WWF or was he WWF?
I think he was WWF. The belt says Worldwide Wrestling on it.
Yeah, no.
The big green one. So, yeah. So I think
thought he
was
beat Sheik
the first
after...
WWF.
When did Vince bring him back in? I thought he beat Sheik the second time he was brought back in.
Hogan?
Yeah. Because I know
I don't remember if it was the
McMahon's
second
father
time or the first
fired
time.
him.
It was in 80. Yeah, it was in like 84.
When was the Rocky movie? He filmed Rocky 3.
Rocky 3?
Was that 83?
I think so. Let me double check. Rocky 3.
Big old Thunder Lips?
1982.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, okay, so...
Oh, it was 19... No, wait. Yeah, so it was 1980... Was it 1984 or 1983? It was 1983, I think he won the belt from Sheik. I forgot. And the Madison
was it
Square Garden
WWF
show.
in 1983? Whatever.
No. I don't know. I don't remember.
Whatever. It is what it is with this guy. We're not here to really talk about him.
The only funny thing about that show was Iron Sheik calls Hulk Hogan a bitch in the promo before the match. He's like, Hulk Hogan, you are a bitch. And then Mean Gene's like, oh, all right, we got to go off the air, guys. We'll see you back in the ring.
Well, my favorite spot in the show, obviously, were the little storylines that they were telling in between. I loved all the carnage, the chaos. I thought it was great. It's classic WWF. Even the announcers, like Lawler and King, they were perfect. They were even fighting with each other at one point on commentary. I really enjoyed the show.
I used to miss the way like Jerry and JR used to get into it on commentary, and it used to just be like hilarious.
Well, I miss classic Jerry Lawler because that's like WWF, like WWF wrestling announcing. You know what I mean? Now they do all this stuff, everything's serious, and these guys have to be in suits. It's like, this isn't wrestling. Like, the announcers aren't having fun. That's why the difference with AEW is AEW goes back to the more traditional, professional commentators, but they're having fun. I just, it's so hard to believe that was 20 years ago and how much has changed with wrestling. It was so much more fun. I don't think people understand.
Even in the 10 years after, like, it changed. You noticed a lot of changes.
Dude, I ain't doing any shows of the 2000s because guess what? I don't care one bit about John Cena. Listen, you watch this pay-per-view, Stone Cold Steve Austin is a man, okay? John Cena is for like little kids. He's a big muscular guy, and he don't touch Steve Austin. He don't touch The Rock. He don't touch half the guys on the main event.
Yeah.
Cena's good, but he's in his own generation. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, these guys were men. You know what I mean? Now you got these little kids growing up into the Miz. He looks like a little kid. All these guys they don't look like wrestlers. They look like they should be on like Entertainment Tonight or something.
And even when you look at, a lot of people used to say, oh, the WWF was like a cartoon in the mid '90s and everything in the '80s. If you look at like the guys from that era, the Attitude Era, and you look at like comic books from that era, they're like the comic books from the '90s. Like they're like freaking hardcore guys. They'll beat the crap out of you. They don't care about saving the day, or they just straight up like mercenary type dudes. So, they'll get the bad guy by any means necessary.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was like a real true to life comic book.
We have Richard in the chat room. How you doing?
It just evolved. It went from Spider-Man to having Spawn. That's how I look at it.
Well, look,
Spider-Man's the '80s and '90s, and then Spawn's the Attitude Era, and that's how those guys, were back then.
Frank posted a picture today about how Cartoon Network, '90s, 2000s, 2020s. It's like really great artwork, and then like kind of lazy artwork, and then just flat out lazy artwork.
Flat out no artwork.
That's like the perfect like comparison to what wrestling was.
Yeah.
I mean, this show was great to watch. It was fun. I mean, people were beating each other up. They were kicking ass, taking names. And now they just do wrestling matches. And there's not a bigger than life guy like Steve Austin or Rock or Undertaker. Undertaker now is saying he did all these matches high on drugs and shit. And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Or he was doing steroids. He was all steroided out. I don't know what the hell. I saw the headline. I didn't read the article. Because that's what wrestling fans do. No, I just don't have time to read it, and I really don't care about The Undertaker anymore. I don't care about half these guys. 2020 exposed a lot of these guys for being nut jobs. So, that's why we will not talk about the current Chris. Anyway,
Oh man. But going back to that, the artwork for the DVD, was it that like the same?
it's
Was it
the
the same kind of artwork
it's the
for the
classic
'91
'80s.
Rumble?
It's the classic '80s and '90s Royal Rumble poster. Because they have one with
Because I
Hogan.
think the
It's
'91,
92 definitely
yeah, I
has
think
them.
that's the '91.
91 and 92 definitely had these.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this one got water damage. So it's got like
Oh,
water
yeah.
damage up here.
Yeah.
And of course, to buy another one of these is like $70 used. That's probably in the same condition on this one, but I mean, it's still in good condition.
Another thing I love about that too, like say you're not a wrestling fan or you've never seen wrestling in your life and you look at that cover, you can look at like you can just tell who's who just by looking at everyone. You know, you see Kurt Angle, you're thinking, okay, he's got the red, white, and blue on, he's the Olympic guy. See Steve Austin, he's the freaking badass, freaking barroom brawler dude. You see the Undertaker, he's the fucking goth biker dude. You know, like you can point at everybody not knowing who they are and just think like, hey, this is the guy, this is what he is. I like the fucking I like Steve Austin. He looks like a freaking guy that kicked the crap out of you at a bar and stuff, you know?
That is an awesome poster. I wish I could get that poster.
Yeah, that is like I want to have that in the
You know,
90s. Hogan
they show
side
on
by side.
the DVD. Oh, let's take it to WWF New York. Yo, there is a massive physical.
Yeah, like on the building.
Yeah, on the building of this on the building, and I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Where is that thing? That's in their warehouse somewhere.
I remember walking by that. That's the only reason I remember that poster is because I remember because going to the city, I always used to go to Toys R Us and buy, I used to see that poster every time, go to Times Square. You go walk by the World during like the big pay-per-views. I remember the WrestleMania fucking poster with Austin and Rock on the,
I like how they
had
called
it
it
hanging from the building.
when they changed their name to WWE. They called their restaurant the World. It's like, why the fuck would you call it the World? What's that have to do with anything? It used to be called WWF
Right.
New York. Why didn't you just call it WWE New York?
Right.
The World. The
Well, it sucks
guy
because
running
the
the
World was only
restaurant.
open like,
They said the guy running the restaurant embezzled all the money, and they had him arrested.
they closed the restaurant, what, like a year later, 2002, 2003?
No, the restaurant was around a couple of years.
Was it? I remember like being
It was WWF New York.
closed it.
It was open in 2000 because when we went to the Rumble, my parents were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, we'll take you there," and I was like, "Nah, I just want to go home and watch a pay-per-view." I was just that. I didn't want to go there and eat. Wanted to get out of the city.
Yeah.
Got out of the city in like 15 minutes. We were home. That's West Side Highway. For anybody that watches me play Spider-Man. Yeah, it's just the restaurant was around for a little bit, few years.
Yeah, it wasn't around for a long time. I know maybe
I
like
never went
maybe it was
there.
2004. It was WrestleMania 20 because I remember after 20, I remember it was a Hard Rock Cafe at some point.
The Hard Rock.
So what happened to the
Hard
World?
Rock was its own thing. It wasn't WWF New York.
Yeah.
You had the Hard
Oh,
Rock.
but the building it became Hard Rock Cafe later on.
I don't know.
That's what it is now. It's been Hard Rock Cafe for the last like couple of years.
Well, there must
It still has the awning.
There must be two Hard Rock
does.
cafes then down there because unless they moved it. Because when I was younger, I was at the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Maybe they moved it to that building. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? It's not there anymore. The WWF. So who?
It's gone. You can't get the nasty
He said
hot
he was going to
dogs
kill
from
it. And
the
he killed it. But nah, I mean, look, we don't have a script for the show, so we're just going to talk about pretty much whatever about this particular event, and we're all over the place. I know that, but I really thought it was a fun show. I really enjoyed it. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, all these guys are my favorite guys. I can watch these pay-per-views and not worry about anything. Like, it's cool. Everything's good. But it's kind of sad when you think a little bit like, this is what happened to this guy. They never did anything with that guy. You know, and people are cheering the guy in the DVD like, they didn't do shit with that guy.
Yeah. It sucks to look back in hindsight.
Yeah, now that you know what happened to half these guys. And to be honest, they didn't do anything with half these guys anyway. Just, I don't know. K Quick, who's R-Truth, he was in the Rumble. I'm like, man, this guy's still wrestling.
Yeah, he's the freaking 24/7 champion.
And he was in the Rumble with The Rock at one point, and I'm like, wow, 10 years later, he'd be fighting The Miz at Survivor. He'd be fighting against The Rock with The Miz at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I remember when he was, I think he was K Crush or something in MCW, Memphis Championship Wrestling.
TNA.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Was he K Crush in TNA? I know in MCW, I think he was.
When he turned heel, I think he won the belt, the NWA Championship. I think he started calling himself K Crush.
Okay.
But
ironically enough, when I went to visit family members up by Frank's, they local channel had Memphis Championship Wrestling with Jerry Lawler, and he was on there.
Yeah.
And he was the MCW champion. That's why when he runs out in the Rumble, Lawler talks really good about him. Because that happened in like 2000. I saw that. I actually taped it.
Oh, wow.
So, just... Hey, man, you know what? It's on Daily Motion. Somebody ripped the DVD on Daily Motion. So if you type in WWF Royal Rumble, you can watch the Rumble match itself. And it was really awesome.
It was great, man.
Best.
Top to bottom. Austin, Rock came out, beat the shit out of Kane. That was fun. You know, the whole stare down thing with the Big Show, like you were saying, the Rock and Big Show.
Drew Carey in the Rumble, trying to give Kane money so he wouldn't throw him out.
Yeah. Drew Carey was going to win the...
Oh, God.
Hilarious.
They should just put David Arquette in one of the Rumbles. Just to make everyone think he's going to win it.
So, if Austin was main eventing Mania, when did Kurt lose the belt?
At No Way Out, a month later.
Okay, he lost it to Austin, or he lost it to Rock?
He lost it to Rock.
Yeah.
Which I ordered that DVD. I paid $40 for that fucking DVD.
Yeah, because No Way Out...
It's going to be here in a couple of days.
No Way Out was the first pay-per-view I saw. It was the first WWF pay-per-view I ever watched.
Right.
Besides Over the Edge, but I wasn't really watching Over the Edge because that was, unfortunate, but we won't get into that. Yeah, No Way Out, too, that year was great. Anything else about the Rumble, like towards the end that you remember? It was just really fun.
No, I know we're jumping back and forth. This isn't, like I said, this isn't a set format. But we're just shooting the shit about an old show. They're celebrating the 20th anniversary of it. Not much, man. Austin won. McMahon put him in due to the interest of fairness, which that was McMahon's gimmick for the next few months. Interest of fairness. So he didn't seem like a heel, but he was a heel. It was weird. He was a heel with his own storyline, but he wasn't a heel when it came to, like, Austin. And then eventually they did the full McMahon turn with Austin at WrestleMania.
They, destroyed Austin that whole year, and we never saw him in the main event again.
No, he was in the main event of No Way Out 2002. And the NWO whooped his ass, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was 2001 was the year of Stone Cold, man. Triple H was on the shelf with an injury, and kind of made things good. I hate to break it to you, because I don't see, to be honest, with the invasion and everything, I don't see how Triple H could fit in. They said, "Oh well, he was going to be the leader of Team WWF." And it's like, no, man, you need a Rock. It's always about Rock and Austin. And it worked that way. Like, that's what happened. It ended up being The Rock and Stone Cold.
Yeah.
And it's like the year... You started the year at WrestleMania with him turning on Rock. And the year ended with Rock finally beating Stone Cold. And putting him in his place. It was like... You couldn't have asked for a better story. A better ending for these characters for that year to wrap up the year. It was great. Loved it.
Yeah.
And then after that, they didn't know what the 2002 started good. The minute they changed the WWE, literally, the company started going downhill.
Yeah.
Guys started getting fired. They got rid of Austin. They did this brand extension crap. And it was fun for the first couple of weeks, but everything they tried, they could never replace Steve Austin and Rock. And it's just the way that it is today.
No.
And you had John Cena, and they never built anybody. You could say Orton and Batista, but Batista's out. Orton doesn't care what the hell he's doing at this point. And Cena's not there anymore either. You never built anybody to Cena's level. You had CM Punk come in, threw him out. That was it. You did the Daniel Bryan thing. You kicked him out. You're retired. You got kicked in the head a few times. And then he comes back and you're like, yeah, whatever, he's okay. When Daniel Bryan came back, man, he was never as popular as when he left.
No.
Which is sad.
It's unfortunate because Brian came off the indies. Like, people knew who he was. Like, people that didn't even watch indie wrestling knew who Daniel Bryan was.
Same thing with
That's
Edge.
what was great about him.
Edge retired, and when he came back, he got that big pop at the Royal Rumble last year because he was coming back. Everyone said the WrestleMania match he had last year sucked. They're like, this guy came back for this.
It was,
and I like
Edge.
Because
COVID happened. And
yes, I know.
They're in the freaking Performance Center.
He got a really raw deal, Edge. He came back at the wrong time.
Yeah.
He
got injured, too, at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think his tricep or something.
He tore his tricep or his bicep or something.
Yeah, something crazy like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good brawl and everything, but, I mean, what do you care?
Why do I want to see that match? Why do I see Randy Orton and Edge? I saw that 100 years ago.
They're trying to make Randy the legend killer again. It's like,
what the hell?
Randy's old enough to be a legend.
He is a legend.
You know, who's going to kill Randy? Who's going to do the legend killer to Randy?
The Undertaker. You know what was funny? Who told me this? Did you tell me this? On Raw?
I don't know.
A couple of weeks ago, or was it last week? Where Goldberg called out McIntyre? Oh, it was Jesus. Jesus told me this. They built the whole show with Randy Orton cursing out the legends. And Goldberg comes out and confronts fucking Drew McIntyre. Instead of Goldberg coming out and confronting Randy Orton. They make Goldberg, hey, I heard you've been talking shit about these legends out there. And McIntyre's like, so what? It's like, what do you mean? You weren't even talking bad about them. It was Randy Orton doing all that.
Randy Orton was talking shit, and like he goes after McIntyre. Like, it made no sense. But I mean, hey, you gotta have Goldberg win the belt one more time.
Goldberg's gonna be the WWE champion He's never been the WWE
The
champion before.
third, fourth time.
No,
What?
he's never been WWE
Well, if
champion.
we don't count, if you don't count the Universal Champion, but yeah,
He's been Universal and world champion. He's never been WWE champion, so that'll be a first. They're going to give the title to a guy that they never wanted to give the title to. Their title, at least. So he's going to be up there with the ranks. He's going to be up there with Rock and Austin and all those guys.
I'm looking at like pay-per-view buy rates, and 2001 it was 600,025 people, or 625,000 buy rates for the pay-per-view.
Wow.
Next year did like a 6,000, 670,000. But then after that, man, it's just a drop off, man. You like after the 2002 Rumble, it's just freaking dropping.
That was the last one Austin was in. That was the last one I think
Yeah.
Rock was in. Was Rock even in that one? No, he was a champion.
It was a champion, wasn't it?
He's on the poster or something.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, 2002.
He fought Jericho, I think, that night, right? Something like that.
Yeah, that's not what they unified the belts on Raw, right? Right?
I don't remember. They unify the titles whenever they feel like it. The titles don't even mean anything now. You see, like, when you watch this, the belts look different. They look like belts. They look prestigious and everything. Now they just slap the W on the belts. It's like, yeah, there's no reason for me to even want to. I'm not even excited to watch this. Big deal. So this guy's going to win a belt that says W on it. That's like fighting over a fucking AARP bumper sticker. Or the Sunoco bumper stickers that you get when you fill up gas.
Yeah.
It's like you're fighting for somebody's logo. You're not fighting for a prize.
I mean, 2000.
Imagine if you won a contest.
I was like,
imagine if you won a contest, a spelling bee or something, and instead of a trophy, they gave you a business card.
right.
It's like, what? What the hell is this?
What is this?
I want a trophy.
Excuse me. Yeah, I just hate seeing that belt, man.
It doesn't. It's just not fun anymore, man.
Yeah.
It's not presented the way it used to be, and it's just not cool. But like I said, we could sit here all day and talk bad about it. Basically, so AoX is back. We're going to be talking a lot about AEW. Well, we're going to run down some of the news, and we're going to do a lot of these 20th anniversary shows for 2021.
Yeah, so the next one is what? We just did Royal No Way Out.
If I can get the DVD in time, I had to order this thing from the UK because they only put it on Blu-ray and only put it on DVD in the UK. And I realized a couple days after I paid $40 for it, it has the WWE Attitude logo on the box, and I'm like, fuck! I hope this isn't all blurred out and edited and shit.
Yeah.
Because that's $40. So if it is, I'm gonna have to put it up on eBay and get rid of it. Because I don't even think it's messed up on the network anymore. I think they fixed that. The only thing on the network is the music. Like, this on the network, okay, when Austin comes out, they play his regular music. They don't play the disturbed music. And I was like, what the hell is this? So I was like, I'm breaking my DVD out, man.
My favorite's the 99 Rumble when Kurgan comes out and all the fans are like going like that. And
yeah.
It's playing like some generic
That was the first
music.
Rumble that was the first pay-per-view I ordered.
Yeah.
That pay-per-view was awesome. I showed that pay-per-view to Frank's dad. He thought that was so funny when Austin was beating up McMahon.
Yeah. The whole night he's chasing him.
Dude, his dad was just dying laughing. He thought it was the greatest thing. When he's fucking chasing him in the stands and beating him up.
Yeah.
I didn't even tell Frank that. Yeah, his dad thought that was great. And whenever his dad would like pick me up to take me to like relatives' houses or something, we would talk about it. He's like, "Oh, what's been going on with that?" And he's just laughing at the stuff I'm telling him. I
Yeah.
told him about Big Papa Pump, and he was laughing. And it's like, yeah, there's this white guy trying to be a pimp, and he thought that was the funniest thing. I don't know. Anyways, so anybody, any questions in the chat room? We've had about 5 people in here, the max, which is really cool because it's 12:50 in the morning. We started late
Yeah.
because we had recorded. We thought we were live for about 20 minutes, and we were not live. Apparently, on this channel, I had to physically hit the go live button. So, yes. And then we were like, okay, we're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. And then we just like stopped it. So that was that. So, any questions in the chat room? So, besides all that, what topics are you looking to cover next?
Well, next month definitely the No Way Out pay per view,
Right.
because that's the first pay per view I actually got to see. Um, and what else? I mean, Nitro, 20 years of Nitro. Panem City, the final Nitro.
Yes, we're gonna be doing that for sure. We have a stacked lineup. We have No Way Out. I would have covered the WCW pay per views, but there was only 3 of them,
Mhm.
and the Sid broke his friggin' leg.
Yeah,
Compound fracture, which was nasty. It's crazy. It's crazy what they ended up doing. But yeah, we'll cover. I guess we're just gonna cover like the WWF pay per views. WrestleMania 17 is gonna be the big one. I'm looking more forward to watching that than watching this year's. This year's is gonna be
yeah, I
two
love
nights
watching.
again.
Yeah, I love watching WrestleMania 17, and
17
that's like,
added 17 added an extra hour, and it was the greatest WrestleMania of all time.
yeah,
Yeah, was good. Yeah, Fred is tagging me in all these posts now. But yeah, we're gonna do 17. We're gonna do what is after that? Backlash. I have like all the DVDs.
yeah. I gotta find out a way to watch everything. 'Cause I'm
Well, you got
not
your Google
subscribing to the
Drive, right?
network.
You got your Google Drive,
Yeah, I
so
got it up. So if you just send me stuff, and I can put it up there.
you got your Google Drive, so we'll be all set with that. Um, we're gonna, like you said, we're gonna cover the final Nitro. Do you have the? Did you see the Final Thunder?
Yeah, I have the Final Thunder.
I think I have that too. I still have the tape of the final Nitro. I have the first hour because it started at 8 o'clock. Then this is on the same tape. I recorded at 8. Did WWF at 9 until 11, and then they did the replay of Nitro, and I recorded the whole Nitro. So I have like on one tape I have the final Nitro and that Raw. So yeah, we'll definitely check out the final Nitro. We'll be covering that. The Invasion, I guess that's going to be the summer of this year, right? We're going to cover the Invasion.
Invasion. Yeah, man. I haven't seen all of the Invasion, so I'm probably gonna definitely catch up on those Invasion pay-per-views and stuff.
Right.
So that's going to be good.
This is the way. Watching all these
Yep.
old shows.
This is the way.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I didn't think I was going to be covering these 20 years later.
Would have thought where half these guys would be 20 years later.
Well, a majority of them are not here anymore, that's a pain in the ass. You know what's messed up? I saw a picture. Lawler posted a picture. I think for Brian Christopher's birthday or Christmas or something. He was at the grave, man. I was like, oh crap! I just saw this guy in the Rumble.
Yeah.
He took the biggest elimination from Kane. He went flying in the air. Kane hits him with a trash can lid, and he flies right out like a maniac. And that was on the highlight. Because they have Coach with hair, next to a CRT TV with WWF home video saying, oh yeah, let's check out the highlights. And they show that as a highlight. And I was like, man, that's crazy.
What happened on Sunday Night Heat, actually? Because we didn't talk about anything that happened on Heat.
You just had Lowdown fighting for the for a spot in the Rumble, which McMahon gave to Drew Carey. So what was the point?
Yeah, because they weren't even in the Rumble, were they?
No, they fought on Heat for a spot, and they couldn't decide on who was going to go in. And then McMahon walked in the office and said, "Yeah, you know what? We're just going to give it to Drew Carey." So,
wow,
that was that, man.
Lowdown. Damn, that was the whole Sunday Night Heat in just one match. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
And the build-up, of course. Yeah, usually there's only one or two matches on the pay-per-views, like the pay-per-view heats.
You know, I missed Sunday Night Heat. I missed it. You know, in what was it, 99, 2000? They started this MTV shit where they would show you music videos and then they wouldn't do anything. They would show you music videos for like a half an hour, and then like the last like 10 minutes they showed you a match. Oh, I think Richard's spoken. Whoa, give me this. Well, there we go. But yeah, Sunday Night Heat, man. Bring it back. No, don't bring it back. No, not today. Don't bring it back. It's funny how...
couldn't do Heat today.
No way. They would screw it up.
Yeah, you couldn't.
They didn't even care about Heat. They said McMahon didn't even care about Sunday Night Heat. It's like, well, why the hell did you do it then? Oh, to make money. Well, still. I have spoken. Yes. Yeah, so Sunday Night Heat. Now, if they brought it back today, you'd put these midgets on there like Gargano. These guys, you know, let me tell you something. These are men, okay? These are men. These guys today on NXT,
that guy in front of Kane, I don't know.
These guys on NXT are like 3 feet tall. The guy's bringing his little wife with him. He's telling the internet, "Oh, my wife should be the champion." Hey, your wife should be the champion. Imagine if this guy Austin went to McMahon and be like, "Yo, you should make my wife the champion because she's my wife." McMahon be like, "You know what, Steve? I think you need to get the hell out of here. I think we're gonna have to just go with Rock."
Did Deborah ever win the women's championship?
Yes, and she was with Jeff Jarrett, and it had nothing to do with Steve Austin.
Yeah.
That was because Sable was leaving, and they had Shawn Michaels strip Sable the championship. But he didn't have Austin go to Vince before he even knew who the hell Deborah was. Like, you know what, Vince? I'm gonna marry that girl, so you better give her the title. What wrestlers go out there and say, you should give my wife the title? Get out of here with that. Little punks. Trainwreck, what is up? How you doing?
Yo, what is up?
Do you guys have any questions at all about the 2001 Royal Rumble? Or anything from that time period? We're just shooting it. Shooting the shit. We're not really talking about anything. We're not running down anything. We kind of ran down the back of the card for... back of the box. The classic AoX sunglasses. Yeah, that's what I'm wearing. Got to differentiate these shows. I didn't have time to get a haircut, but I'll do that tomorrow. Anything that when did you start watching, like, consistently?
So I didn't start watching, like, I didn't start consistently watching WWE until, like, 2002.
Oh, yeah?
So I caught pay-per-views here and there if my family was watching them or if my friends gave me the tapes, because my friend gave me the tape for No Way Out, but that Monday.
Right.
And he from then on, he gave me the tapes for like every 2001 pay-per-view. And he let me borrow them, and I watched them that way. I was a WCW kid. I until the end. When that final Nitro came on, as soon as that came on, next week I was watching Raw to see what was going to happen, to see if anybody from WCW showed up. We all know how that turned out, after WrestleMania and everything.
I'll never forget. This kind of has nothing to do with 2001, but I watched the New Blood Rising. My dad came over the house and I was watching it, so he was watching with me in the living room. And, they lit Sting on fire and he fell off the Titantron. My dad just died. He thought that was the funniest fucking thing.
Yeah, because it wasn't even Sting. It was like some guy.
And then Goldberg turned heel at the end of the show. My dad's like, that's it?
They were like obsessed with throwing people off that damn thing.
It was Russo.
Had the wall choke slamming people off the damn thing.
Yeah, the wall. He was a friggin'... That guy was like a Nazi. Rest in peace, but his character was like a Nazi.
Yeah. Sucks, man. What else happened that year? Freaking Vampiro feud was...
Jesus says Gargano's a mark for his wife. He's a simp.
It took me a long time to grow on him, and then he got to WWE, and
I heard people are just tired of NXT because exactly what I told you years ago, man. All these guys stayed down there, and people are just tired of it. They just like, this guy's been here 100 years. Like, are they gonna ever get new people in NXT? The toilet's clogged.
That's why you don't make.
You realize this
developmental brand.
Went a whole presidency by being stuck in NXT. 4 years. This guy's been over there, probably longer. Who the hell knows how long?
What are they gonna do with him?
Well, he's going to be a little kindergarten teacher for the Performance Center. These guys look like little kids now, okay? I don't care. Listen, I don't care anymore. I don't care. I don't watch this shit anymore. I watch AEW when I feel like it. But to be honest with you, and you know this, these guys look like little fucking kids. And it's like, what am I watching? Sesame Street or fucking wrestling? Big Bird is fucking taller than half these guys on the roster. You gotta get fucking 3 Garganos to get up to the size of Big Bird. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. And these guys were, oh, the crowd booed during my match. Well, deal with it, fatso. You think Austin say, oh, goddamn, Vince, the crowd hates me. I'm going to cry now. Well, Steve, don't worry about it. No. Austin's like, fuck these people. We're going to hit the next town tomorrow. Stupid. If WCW, this is Jesus. This is what Jesus says. What's wrong with me today? If WCW haven't got bought out, how do you think 2001 would have played out? They eventually would have died out, man. The company that was going to buy it with Bischoff, Fusion Media, this is what they did. From what I've been reading and hearing for all these years, ESPN Classics, they sold that to ESPN. They just took a bunch of clips from like college games and stuff like that. They bought the rights to everything and all that. They wrapped it in the ball, sold it to ESPN, and that became ESPN Classics. They were going to do the same with WCW. They were going to repair the reputation. They were going to fix the brand, keep it for a little bit, and then make it worth something so that when they sell it, they can get a lot of money for it. So they weren't planning on keeping it forever.
No.
You know Bischoff's involved. Which you know mismanagement's going to be involved. Whether it's him or somebody he hires or whatnot. I think it would have ended very badly, if you ask me. Like, Bischoff's part was with Fusion Media. I think him and Fusion Media would have gotten into it. Mm-hmm. We'll never know. Maybe they would have been great together. I don't know. But the track record, because look what happened with Turner and look what happened with TNA. At some point, he's always got a problem with something, or they have a problem with him. So I don't think it would have ended well, and I think they would have ended up selling it to WWF anyway. Because you have to think about this. WWF was on the decline. Even if you fix Nitro, WCW, it would never be where it was. It would be stagnant and decent. And they'd be like, you know what, let's just get rid of this thing. It's not doing anything for us, and we're starting to lose money now. They would have sold it right to Vince McMahon, I guarantee you.
They really didn't have a lot of guys towards the end either. Other guys were
they were going to bring guys in. They were going to take a year off because they wanted those guys. They wanted their contracts to like expire or whatnot, or not a year off. They were going to shut down, I think, for a few months and then bring it back with a pay-per-view called The Big Bang.
The Big Bang, yeah.
And they were going to start to bring guys in. I think they were going to buy out those contracts. I don't think they were going to wait. Because if you're doing something called The Big Bang, what are you doing? You got to get the guys, right? Jesus says Gargano's career is at a standstill with NXT for life bullshit. I told you guys. I called this. And everyone told me no. Look what happened. NXT is a clogged toilet bowl.
That's like what you were saying, though. It's like that's why you don't make developmental a brand. That's why you don't air it on national TV. You know?
I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, because it's not like Cornette wasn't saying that, like, you know, before, too. You know, like, I don't know why they're freaking putting these guys
on
but
he likes NXT.
TV.
I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. I don't care what he likes. That's his thing. My thing is, why would I want to see developmental on TV? I don't have an interest for that. If you want to do a special where you're showing me, like, if you want to do like a 1 hour special saying like, hey, this is the future of the company, and you show me some stuff like that in a special, like a documentary special, I'm okay with that. Or if you want to have those guys in matches on pay-per-views.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want to book a couple of those guys on a pay-per-view and say, yeah, this guy represents this, and then you get rid of them. You don't book them on the pay-per-view. You're like, oh my God, is he going to sign tomorrow? Oh yeah, holy shit, he's gonna be on Raw tomorrow. We just got word. Like, no, you don't do that. Brock Lesnar, they could have thrown him on WrestleMania 17 if they wanted. But they waited till the next day. Or was that WrestleMania 18? It was the day after 18, right?
Yeah. Well, he was on like Heat and stuff, like, 2001 and everything.
I don't ever remember him being on Heat. I used to watch Heat all the time.
Or maybe like Metal or Jack. He was on one of those shows.
Yeah,
Not Heat,
those I didn't
but
watch.
he was on like Jacked or Metal, one of those.
I saw Velocity every once in a while. I know Benoit was on Velocity once. And I was like, what the hell is he doing on here?
Canyon was in freaking Vengeance Heat 2003.
And it's just like, these guys gotta move on. But this is why, this is why the son-in-law's gotta go to the father-in-law and be like, yo, you gotta bring these guys up, and you can't fuck them up, man. But he ain't doing it. He's playing nice because he wants to get in the will. And that's fine. But at some point, you gotta tell him, be like, yo, it's not gonna work. You're taking my guys and you're ruining them. Who am I going to have left?
Yeah.
But that's going to be the company, man. The company, they're making money overseas and they're doing all this great stuff, but they lost the fan base. The hardcore fans are gone. Look at their ratings. It just goes to show you people just don't care anymore. And that's sad because look where they came from, man. People would die to watch these shows.
I don't know where it went, man. You went from going to school, people having the T-shirts and everything, and wearing the merchandise, and freaking DDTing each other in the hallways.
Well, I still think kids are still gonna wear wrestling shirts. They don't know like what we know. They don't read this stuff online. They don't know about that stuff. To them, the wrestlers are still superheroes, and that's fine. But it's like, as an adult, you're like, I'm out of this now. And again, I watch AEW when I feel like it. I don't watch it every week. Well, I watched it this week. So did you watch it? You didn't watch it, right?
I saw highlights. I didn't see everything.
Yeah, it was all right. Besides that Jericho flop, which that was trending. He's got to lay off the cookies and ice cream and candy and bubbly, the alcohol. Dude, if I was Tony Khan, I know I say this all the time, I'd be like, yo, get in the fucking gym. I'm paying you $400,000 a fucking month. Get in the goddamn gym.
I just outright suspend. All right, I come back until you get in shape.
They did it to Big Show.
Yeah.
They sent Big Show to OVW. They're like, yeah, you come back when you lose weight and you get a better attitude. And he came back. He came back during this show. That was the first time they got rid of him. They got rid of him again. And then he came back with a shaved head. No. Excuse me. They got rid of him. They got rid of Big Show. Sent him to OVW. He shaved his head. Then he started growing his hair back and came back on this show. But, yeah, it's just Big Show. That's what happens.
I believe 20 years
They
later,
get rid of him.
the Big Show is going to be fighting Randy Orton.
He fought him last year. Why wouldn't he fight him this year? Apparently, Randy Orton is a Fortnite character now. They lit his face on fire and shit.
Oh, man, yeah.
They put a fucking thing on his face, like a sock. They somehow fit a big fucking sock around his face. And he's got like a big fucking pink nose. I was like, is this Randy Orton or a fucking clown?
He's like put ketchup on his face or
What
something.
are they doing to this guy? They think that because Alexa Bliss can't fucking work and wrestle anymore because she's like paralyzed or whatever. Whatever the hell she is. So they got her dressing like a fucking Harley Quinn wannabe. Bray Wyatt's just fat with skinny legs. He looks like Meat Wad on stilts. Just so disproportionate. I just saw a clip where people are calling into Livewire and asking JR about questions about WCW, and JR flipped out. Yeah, he's great. He flips out on his podcast every week.
Yeah.
A lot of these podcasts, man, they're taken out of context, big time. I remember, what was it, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, somebody posted, oh, did you know that WWE was trying to buy Playboy at one point? I'm like, yeah, we all knew that like 20 years ago. Good luck. Good luck with that one. Were you like not born yet? They fucking even talked about that on Raw. Oh, it's breaking news because this guy mentioned it on his podcast. Okay. It's not news to a lot of people.
About something that happened in the past that they were talking about.
Yeah, but you see, the person that listened to the show didn't know that. So they ran and wrote an article about it, and then they copy and paste sites picked it up. It's like, oh, did you know this? It's like, yeah, we all knew that. Where were you? And why does it matter? That was 20 years ago. Why does it matter now? Ooh, it's like if I say, oh, shit, did you know Eli? Shane McMahon tried to buy UFC? Guess what? I knew they tried to buy UFC because they put it on WWF.com. I went to WWF.com one day, and guess what? The fucking UFC logo was on the splash page. And they talked about how Shane McMahon was in negotiations to buy UFC.
Yeah.
They did a whole fucking article on it, on their own website. But breaking fucking news. Kevin Kelly said it on a fucking podcast somewhere. Hey, did you know that Shane tried to buy you? Yeah, because everyone fucking saw it on the website.
Did you know George Washington led the Continental Army to win the Revolutionary War in 1776?
No, that was the Intercontinental Championship, Eli. Come on. What was the one? There was another one that people always... Oh. Remember Industry News on WWE.com where they were posting about TNA news? And people were like, oh,
yeah.
Did WWE buy TNA? It's like, no. They were just trying to beat the Observer. Remember when they posted a photo of Jerry Jarrett right when TNA started? Jerry Jarrett came to WWE headquarters, and he's not alone. Making you think he was with Jeff Jarrett. But he was with, who was the guy? Kozlov?
Vladimir Kozlov?
Yeah, he was with that guy. Jerry Jarrett brought him to WWE, and he got a cut from that guy. He got a cut from his contract.
Yeah.
But that's who the guy was. They put... And Jerry Jarrett's not alone, making you think he's with Jeff. But that'll be breaking news now. Hey, did you know that Jerry Jarrett went not alone to WWE headquarters in 2002? Good old TNA.
Yeah, all this stuff happened.
This show is alive.
It's history. It's not news.
This show is still alive. What does this say? Resident Evil already looking like the series' spookiest entries.
We'll talk about that on Sunday on our Patreon show.
That's Mario messaging me. I told him the demo was coming out today, and he's like, "Oh, I already signed up for the beta." I was like, "No, this is different." And by the way, real quick, we are getting another demo. So this demo is just for PlayStation to show off the visual hardware side of the PS5. But we're getting another demo. Like all the consoles are getting another demo. I just read about that one after all the hoopla ended. Yeah, Eli, why don't you write something there so I can knight you? Come on, give me your social security number now. Now let me ask you a question.
I watched that movie.
What?
I watched that movie you've been telling me to watch. 12 Angry Dudes.
12 Angry Dudes. 12 Angry Men. Now listen, you used to be a viewer of this channel that we're on right now. You were Kid Dynamite.
Yep. ECW show.
On Sci-Fi.
2006.
Yeah. Well, we went live on this channel because we want to make sure that I mean, we went on way too late because we had technical difficulties, but we want to see if any of the original OGs, the OGs of the show, the viewers, if they come back, they can still see that we're still breathing for now.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone's doing all right out
Come
there.
see us on other stuff.
On Order Store. What?
They can see us on Game Complainers. Well, they can see you on Game Complainers. I'm not on Game Complainers.
Yeah, I know. Got rid of that little rule where you can't have a guest on, so. Boom. I'm going to do that. Nice.
Am I now part of the Knights of Ren?
No, that was something else.
Yeah.
Why don't we check out Best Buy's deal of the day? So really quick, Jeff told me one of his coworkers paid $1,000 for a PS5.
$1,000.
Which is funny because GameStop, Best Buy, Target all had them today. Amazon had them.
Yeah, everybody had them.
Everyone had them, and this guy ran out and paid $1,000 for this shit.
The store freaking right off base for me had PS3s for like the last couple months. The only rule was you had to buy an extra controller and you could get one.
PS3s or PS5s? You
just said
PS3.
Did I say PS?
Yeah, you said PS3.
I said PS3. It's been a long day.
Yes.
Yeah, they had PS5s for like the last 3 months. And like, all you have to do is buy an extra controller and you get a PS5.
Yeah, you know. Ironically enough, Frank gave me his Xbox One X. I got it right here on the floor.
Nice.
So that's gonna be all cleaned off. I gotta turn it on, make sure everything's good. He said he wiped it, but I want to make sure it's wiped. And that's it, man. That's a done deal. And Jeff has given me his One X. Well, he's not giving it to me, but I'm gonna be buying it from him, just so I have some inventory coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that'll be very nice. And then I think that's it. I think all of our Xbox One X's are gone. I sold a ton of them this year. Or last year.
That crazy. You'd think everybody be jumping on the new one, but no, there's actually people out still want to play the
because people just.
1X.
Here's the thing. When something is taken away from people, they want it more. And I think that's what happened here with the One. Now that they didn't have access to one, they can't find them anywhere. They're like, "Oh, I got to get it somehow. I have to own one. I don't want to pay $500 for the new one, but I want to get that one."
Yeah.
See, Microsoft screwed themselves because they listened to all the stupid fans out there, the fanboys. Instead of them just saying, "Yo," because the fanboys like, people are gonna get the names wrong, and Microsoft's like, "Oh my God, let's just pull them all." They pulled all the consoles so that nobody would get confused. But in the meantime, you lost all that holiday revenue because you can't find the new ones, but then you could have had the old ones out.
Yeah.
But that's where I come in. And I sold like 12 of them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Any final questions in the chat room? Anybody have any questions about the 2001 Royal Rumble or the year 2001 as pertains to WWE? WWF, I'm sorry. The WWF.
WWF. There's still people today that like think the WWF went out of business and like the WWE is like a new company. So whatever happened to the WWF? It's still on TV. It's just not the WWF anymore.
Ironically enough, when they went public, they named the company WWFE, World Wrestling Federation Entertainment. So really what they did was they just got rid of the F and called it WWE, but then the E is silent. When do you think the restocks will happen? They happened today. or yesterday, whatever.
Yeah.
The 21st, they all went up. I
Whenever
would
they get him in.
I would say follow the dude. Wario 64, but I don't know if he really does stocks in Canada. I'm trying to think here now. I heard that Canada's been getting more consoles in. No,
resellers are sending them all back, huh?
They got them in today. And they got them in on the 21st, yesterday. Wario was posting the links all day. And they were gone. I didn't even know. I was too busy doing other shit. I was playing that demo. When I was done, I checked it. It's like 8 hours ago. Series X is on sale. GameStop has them. Amazon has them. But I don't know if he does like the Canadian stores. But I'm trying to think now. What could you possibly do? I don't know if you have like Sam's Club or anything or stores like that. I would try those places. Yeah, man, it's rough. What I would do is maybe I'll try to figure it out for you. They haven't been on stocks in Amazon Canada. You know what? There's a guy. Follow this guy's an Xbox guy, but he's been helping people get PS5s. His name is D-Batch on YouTube. He's from Canada, and he builds computers and shit for a living. And he's been helping people in Canada get PlayStation 5s and Xboxes. He's a guy with glasses on. That's his icon. See? You gave me a minute to think about it. I know Amazon over here had them. because Wario posted the links. And I missed them all. You know, Rammy the Ram, he's so annoyed by the Cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, so all these games they're going to make are going to be held back. I'm like, no, it's a different story with CD Projekt Red. But he gets all nervous and shit, and I'm like, don't be worried. Yeah, Richard, see if that guy has like Twitter and follow him and see like what the hell he's doing, or if he makes videos about it. Because that dude lives in Canada, and like I said, he's been helping a lot of people get consoles. So follow his ass. Just do that. It's like building up the anticipation. Man, what the hell is this?
What's going on here?
I gotta record Fred's lines, man.
Oh yeah, weren't you supposed to do that?
I was supposed to do that 3 weeks ago.
Oh, shit.
Every time he's like, hey, can you do lines? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll do them tomorrow. And then something happens and I get tired. And then I do 10 different things. Then I totally... 1 week I just completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
But... I gotta get in the mode. I gotta get in the zone when I record these. But don't worry, Fred. I will find the time to get your lines to you. Apparently, an actor who saw his stuff wants to do voice work or something for one of his battle royales.
Really?
And I was like, yo, man. I can't tell you who it is, but it's an actor. Can't tell you on the air. I don't know if he wants it out there like that, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Any other questions? This went from a wrestling show to a normal hangout, but that's okay. We haven't been on this channel in a while, so hopefully people see this video and they want to interact with us.
Come and join AoX family.
AoX Wrestling.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the next couple shows. Like to talk about wrestling live with you guys because I don't get to come on here a lot. So I'm glad Perry gave me the opportunity to come on here, talk to you guys, and talk about wrestling and everything. So
You give it an opportunity.
yeah, man.
We're friends. Who gives a shit? Let's get you on here. The
Yeah.
hangouts are fun, says Richard. I'm glad you like them. Yeah, man, we just try to do our best. The two of us, we both have stressful lives. So if we can just get out of that for a little bit and hang out on here, try to forget about the bad stuff in our personal lives and just get on here, have fun with you guys, hang out as if we were hanging out all together. That's what we do.
Yeah,
just
man.
chill out. Dude, that Resident Evil demo, come on. What was that?
I didn't even see it.
Listen, is it just me? Be honest. Don't say shit that you think I would like to hear. I'm not Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Don't kiss my ass. But to be honest, to me, that shit ain't Resident Evil.
No.
So what do you think?
I'm just like I'm confused. Like, so we're doing like a freaking. It feels like a Marvel Comics, like a storyline straight out of Marvel Comics. You got this lady, she's a freaking demon, and then you got her three freaking crazy daughters. Like, and you're in this village for what reason? Like, I don't understand the plot. Like, I don't understand why they are at this one village.
I know why, but I don't know if I should say it on here. I think we'll
It,
talk about that off the air.
it's
But
to me, it was the same problem with uh, RE7. It's like, why are they in this house in Louisiana in the middle of nowhere?
like Richard said in the
What
chat,
set them?
the demo was boring. It was boring to the point where like Resident Evil 7 seems legit now. And that's a bad thing. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Just I mean, the first level, the level from the demo is literally it's straight out of fucking like Elder Scrolls. You're like trying to escape the dungeon from the fucking sewer.
Yeah.
So it's like what? I don't know, man. I don't, if it's not Jill or Chris or Rebecca or any of those characters, I'm not interested. And yeah, Chris is in the game, but I mean, you know, why? There's just no reason. There's no place for this game early in the series. It doesn't feel like it fits, and I don't know. There's like no. There's just no explanation. There's no real story here. You know, there's no reason for these characters to be here other than
Instead of them wasting so much fucking time on this type of game, please just give me a different game. You could have given me Dino Crisis remake. You could have given me Resident Evil 8, but in the style of the remakes. The
they
remakes
could
are
have
so
did
good. The way the engine is and everything, it's so great. And they gotta go
they
back to
could have
this
did
first
Remember Me
person.
too.
It's like, oh yeah, it's a big tall lady with big fucking tits. I heard she's gonna breastfeed you, and she grabs you and rubs you in between. She breastfeeds you. Hey, come on. What is it? I'm playing this game. I'm like, is this Wild Wild West? Is this Red Dead Redemption? What am I playing? Is this what was that game I was talking about earlier? What's the game? The game that's on by Bethesda, Dishonored. I was like, am I playing
Yeah.
Dishonored? What is this?
It's like some Victorian lady with like a freaking little feather hats and everything.
We might have some buffering issues. So if we do,
Yeah, because you like froze for a second. So I was like, what happened?
it's all right. I'm getting gigabit on Monday, so we're good.
Yeah, I don't know what Resident Evil is. Like it's lost its identity, you know.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
It's becoming less. It's becoming less of about a science experiment, and it's becoming more like supernatural. I mean, yeah, you have the supernatural kind of elements a little bit, but it's literally just becoming like a freaking I don't know, like a ghost story with like no explanation. You know,
Yeah, man.
the vampire lady, you got her fucking moth children, you got the fucking werewolf up in there, you got a giant ass Sasquatch straight out of fucking Lord of the Rings with a big ass axe. Did you see that in the freaking trailer?
I saw that.
Like a big ass golem with an axe. Like, what the hell is that? Is this Lords of the Rings or fucking Resident Evil? Like,
No, you
I
know
don't
what
know.
sucks? We're still gonna buy it. That's what sucks.
I'm not gonna buy it. I ain't buy 7.
Wow. I
I'm
bought
buying
7
that
because
shit.
it was If you bought it on Xbox, they gave you the Windows 7 version for free.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't play 7 at all. I didn't buy it. I mean, I saw like Anthony and everything. I saw him play it. But
They're giving the
other
villain
than that,
superpowers and saying it's because of whatever the virus is current. Yeah, I'm so tired of that, man. Why do people have to act stupid? Why does this lady have to act like she's from back in the day? Like, what are these fucking writers thinking about? What movies are these guys watching?
I don't know.
Oh, well, we want to make a big-breasted tall lady be the villain with Freddy Krueger fedora and a Freddy Krueger friggin' fingernails. It's like, okay, that's not Resident Evil, but okay. I don't. Do you remember Tyrant having fucking tits?
Oh,
My God, there are
like
no
what is?
words.
It's like Revelations 1. You had it at the end. The girl had the virus and she sold it, and what happens to that virus? What does that thing do? And then Resident Evil Revelations 2.
The kid, the kid had the
You know,
virus.
yeah, you had the kid, and none of it mattered. Nothing in Revelations that happened mattered at all. It tied into nothing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 7 and 8 are like they're literally like Star Wars. They're like the new Star Wars. You have no idea what set us up for this.
RA1 genetically engineered bioweapons. And guess what? That fit right into the 90s narrative, too.
Yeah. I mean, even 4 had the parasite, and then it kind of went over into 5, and we're testing it on people in Africa and everything. So you still had the science and the bioterrorism kind of like aspects there. That was kind of through all the games.
Well, people that
But
bitch
this is
about the
like,
fifth, people that bitch about the fourth and the fifth game, it's like, right, it's called Resident Evil here, but it's called Biohazard in Japan.
right.
This game is like completely different from all that. Like Richard said, Resident Evil 8, witch ladies with superpowers. It's like they just don't get it. They really don't get it. They really lost their way.
Mhm.
This could have been a franchise of its own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The 7 and 8 could have been its own thing. If you could have called it something else, and it probably would have won like Game of the Year. I'll be dead honest with you. But you threw the name on it, and it's like you put people on a spot now. Because now you got people that like it, you got people that don't like it, then you got people in the middle.
Right.
You should never divide the audience, and that's what they did with this, with 7 and now 8.
7 is like literally, it's like The Exorcist. The lady's getting possessed and chasing you around the house, and the guy's possessed. He's chasing you and everything. It's like, what virus does like possesses you like the damn Exorcist? Gives you like superpower? Like how like do they even explain that in the game? Like how that virus did that and every like I don't get it.
No, whatever Jack Baker says when you find the tape, or you're knocked out or whatever, and he dreams about him like apologizing to him.
Yeah.
You should listen to us, son. I'm not really a bad guy. It's like, who gives a shit? Fuck you. This motherfucker tried to fucking kill me, and then I have a dream about him being like sorry about it.
Yo, at least now we can do Nemesis versus Jack Baker.
Yeah, right.
A
That'll be
new
a sight
fucking
for
Resident
sore
Evil game.
eyes.
He's gonna welcome fucking Nemesis to the family.
But how do we go from Nemesis to the tall lady? Can someone explain how we did that?
I can't. This lady's literally like right out of a comic book I'm reading right now. This lady's called Mercy, and she has like these fucking demon powers. It's like, so she's like a demon parasite lady that kills people.
Isn't that every woman?
Why?
Oh,
I really don't get it. I don't. I don't know what's going on.
yeah.
I don't care who Ethan is. I don't know why he's in this game. Why was Resident Evil 7 called Resident Evil 7 Biohazard when it had nothing to do with
Because it was a reboot, but it was a play on the fucking numerals. Why do you think this game's called Village? Because they really thought of that? They're like, shit, what has 3 eyes in it?
Village, but you're in a castle the entire time?
Stupid. I don't know. Look, I'm gonna get the game and I'm gonna check it out. I might get it on PC though, so I can use the cheats.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. That would be a great thing.
See. You will see.
Alright, so I think we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank Eli for being the host here, co-host, whatever the hell. I want to thank Eli for just being here. Even though we did talk at the end not about the Royal Rumble, but most of the show was about the Royal Rumble. It wasn't the greatest show. We started it off great, but then we didn't go live. So
But then nobody saw it.
nobody saw it. So, but we tried our best. And by the way, this show is just to hang out and relax. It's not a big deal. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the 2001 Royal Rumble, the 20th anniversary of the 2001 events in WCW, ECW, and WWF. And that's pretty much it. I don't think we'll be doing this show every week, but who knows? The first episode that we did do, it was a pilot. Only a certain select amount of people were able to jump in and check it out. That was about AEW, and I think that might have been about Brody Lee's last match. It was when they threw the drink at Shaquille O'Neal. When was that? That was before all this stuff happened, right? Or was that after?
Yeah. That was before, I think. Before the Brody Lee.
Yeah, so that was our pilot. We're going to count this as the second episode. So, whatever. Anyway, I want to thank you all. Hope everyone in the chat room stays safe out there. Take care. You have anything to say?
Oh, guys, just take care. Wash your hands. Be good out there. You know, see us around. I'll see you guys around. Appreciate being here. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Appreciate the Patreon sponsors and everybody, coming out for the Patreon show and stuff. So.
Right. Well, that's the other channel. But...
yeah, man. Just love all around. Hopefully, everybody, AoX, comes back and everybody, you get to see us again after all this time. Or, well, you guys are seeing me for the first time on this channel. The AoX viewers. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just. I'm glad
Richard.
AoX is back. AoX is back. I'm glad I'm a part of it.
We're back, and we'll do what we got to do to keep it going. But like I said, this won't be like an every week show. We'll decide what we're going to do with it. But
yeah.
I want to thank you all for watching. Be excellent to each other. And we will catch you all later. Take care.
Peace. Is it over?